Here's where the spoiler begins, because I am going to tell you, as we are a third of the way through the season, who the 14 playoff teams will be this January. Today, on October 15th, I know the 14 teams who will be in the upcoming NFL playoffs. And I want to start in the AFC, because the AFC, I think, is a lot more interesting than the NFC in terms of who's going to make the playoffs. I don't know what's going to happen once we get there. Like, I have sneaking suspicions about who might win the Super Bowl, who can win multiple playoff games, et cetera, et cetera. But I just want to do the exercise. Who are the 14 teams you believe will make the playoffs? Not the teams that are in there right now, the teams that you think will get there once the dust settles after 18 weeks. And we'll go division by division, and of course we can get to the wildcard teams as well. And in the AFC, we'll start with the East. I do think that Buffalo will hang on to win this division. The last couple of weeks have been bad. I think everyone has been downgrading the Bills, as they should have been over these last couple of weeks. I mean, heck, you could have downgraded the Bills off of their performance against the Dolphins, honestly, knowing what we know about that team right now and where they stand. But Buffalo, still really good. They still have a quarterback who is that dude in Josh Allen. And I think, despite all the defensive woes, the defensive inefficiencies, I think that Josh Allen can carry the Bills to the finish line to at least win the AFC East for another season. Like, Drake May and those guys are coming, and we'll get into them a little bit here, but I think the Bills are your AFC East winner. Now let's get spicy. The AFC North. Right now, your first place team is the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't think they're going to win the division. I do think we see the Baltimore Ravens go on the run post-bye week. I'm not giving up on Baltimore. Not yet. I need to see this team fully formed and healthy before I give up on the Baltimore Ravens. Everyone's dumping all the mud on the Ravens, burying the Ravens, putting them 6 feet under. No, because outside of Patrick Mahomes, I actually think the Ravens have the best player in the league in Lamar Jackson. He means so much to that Ravens team. Look at the performance he had last year with the 40-plus touchdowns, 4 interceptions, just a ridiculous performance statistically. This dude is a multiple-time MVP. Outside of Mahomes, you can argue Lamar or Josh or Lamar or Burrow, whatever you want to do. But in my opinion, outside of Mahomes, Lamar Jackson is the best player in football. And we've seen teams that kind of have these bye weeks that are early in the season get things corrected. I mean, just last year, and I don't think it's going to go like this for the Ravens, but just last year, the Philadelphia Eagles had that early bye week. Sirianni was on the hot seat. If they lost another game, there was rumors they were going to hire Belichick. He shaved his head. All the things was going on, and they rallied around it, and they went on to win the Super Bowl. I don't think the Ravens are winning the Super Bowl, but I do think they're going to rally around Lamar Jackson coming back, Roquan Smith coming back, all these defensive players that have been injured. They're going to get healthy, and I think Baltimore is going to go on the run and win the AFC North. They're right now, the win total, 8.5. I think they can go 10-7 after this 1-5 start. I do think they are that highly rated and that good of a team on paper. They got to do it when they actually play, but the Ravens are legitimate. I like Baltimore over the win total, and I think Friday morning, because we'll get into Pittsburgh here a little bit later on, I think Pittsburgh's going to win tomorrow night. But Friday morning is when you want to bet the Ravens to win the AFC North. That is a bet that I will be placing once the Steelers beat the Cincinnati Bengals. The AFC South, to me, it's pretty simple. The class of the division is Shane Steichen, Daniel Jones, and the Indianapolis Colts. I mean, Steichen, heck, he's probably going to be at least a finalist for Coach of the Year, if not the winner. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. The Colts will be your AFC South champion. The AFC West, it's the Chiefs, right? For the umpteenth straight year, it's Kansas City. I think if they get by the Buffalo Bills, though, in a couple of weeks, I actually think Kansas City might go on a serious run here, too. Now, Rashee Rice is coming back from suspension this week. They play the Raiders. That should be an easy victory for KC. But they play the Bills in a couple of weeks. If they can get by that game, why can't they go 13-4? Hell, why can't they run the table and go 14-3? I think there's a realistic shot that Kansas City might be your 1 seed. And with that opinion, we talked about it yesterday on the show, but I do think there's still a lot of value left because the price is still the same. You need to bet some more Kansas City to win the Super Bowl. Did it last week before they beat the Detroit Lions. Did it again last night with Kansas City at plus 650 to win the Super Bowl. I think this team is probably your 1 or your 2 seed in the AFC. This offense is ready to go nuclear, and I think this team is going to be there in the end, because in an AFC that's looking pretty weak, give me the best head coach, give me the best quarterback, give me the best defensive coordinator, Give me the Kansas City Chiefs to win the Super Bowl at plus 650. All right, now let's get to the wild cards, because this is where we're going to even get some even more spicy after what we have seen so far through 6 weeks. Now, your 5 seed, pretty self-explanatory to me at least. I think it's going to be New England. Schedule is easy. Barring health, they should be there. The 6 seed, I have the Chargers. Now, injuries, of course, are a problem, but they still have Jim Harbaugh. They still have Justin Herbert. The infrastructure, in my opinion, is too good. The Chargers are your 6 seed. The 7 seed, surprise, they've sucked me back in, folks. The Houston Texans. I think the Houston Texans will make the playoffs. I think this final 7 seed will come down to Denver and Houston. Both of these teams have elite defenses, but I trust one quarterback a hell of a lot more than I trust the other one, and that being C.J. Stroud over Bo Nix. Houston, with their elite defense, and I think they're going to lose Monday night, so there's no rush to make this bet for the Texans to make the playoffs. But Tuesday morning, after they lose to the Seahawks in the Pacific Northwest, that is the buy point on the Houston Texans to make the AFC playoffs. Schedule is not too daunting, and with that defense, I think they can carry them to January, where with C.J. Stroud and DeMeco Ryans, they've made the playoffs, and they've made the second round of the playoffs in back-to-back years. I don't see why they can't do it again here this season in 2025. So my AFC playoff teams, obviously, have Buffalo, Baltimore, Indy, KC, New England, the Chargers, and the Houston Texans, which leaves out the Pittsburgh Steelers, who I think most people would be like, hey, how do you not have Pittsburgh in there? They're 4-1. They're the 2 seed right now. You know the quarterbacks that the Steelers have beaten so far this season? Justin Fields, who just got sacked 9 times and completed 9 balls overseas in London. Carson Wentz, LOL. Dylan Gabriel. Now, there's one that's missing. They beat Drake May. But go back and watch that game. As fluky as a result as you will find with the 5 turnovers from the New England Patriots, I don't think the Steelers have beaten anyone. I think the Steelers are just very, very mediocre. 15th in offensive success rate. 17th in defensive success rate. The upcoming schedule for Pittsburgh, at the Bengals tomorrow night, should win that game. Home Packers, hello, Rodgers versus the old team. Home Indianapolis, I think the Colts are flat out better than them. At the Chargers, I think the Chargers are better than them. Home Bengals should be able to win that one. At the Bears, toss-up game. I mean, if Caleb continues to take steps forward, Ben Johnson, who knows? Maybe they lose at Chicago. Home Buffalo, Buffalo's better. At Baltimore, Baltimore's better. Home Miami, yeah, Miami stinks. At Detroit, LOL. At the Browns, they'll beat the Browns. Then home Ravens. I don't think that we're going to see this glorious, Steelers 12-5, 13. No, I think they're going to go 8-9 or 9-8 at best. And I don't think that's going to be good enough to make the AFC playoffs. This team collapses. Friday morning, I will be betting Steelers to miss the playoffs. Right now, it's plus 240. If they win Thursday, tomorrow night, probably going to be plus 350, maybe plus 400. That will be a bet for me on the Steelers. The Jaguars, I don't think they're good enough. Plus 185. That's a bet right now for the Jags to miss the playoffs. And then Denver, after this weekend, because I think they're going to beat the Giants, although it might be an ugly game, plus 240 on the Broncos to miss the playoffs. Don't need to bet it now. Let's just wait for them to beat the Giants, and we can do it Monday morning when we wake up. The NFC. This one's a little bit of a faster conversation because I think the 7 teams who are currently in the playoff picture in the NFC will be the 7 teams that make it there come January. I think the Eagles hang on to win the East. Now, I don't think the ceiling is high until they fundamentally change something with their offensive philosophy. But right now, I got to give it to the Eagles. On paper, they're still the best team. I do think the Lions win the North. And at plus 150, that is a bet for me. Detroit to win the North over Green Bay. Schedule is not easy, but it's manageable. Offense, defense, consistency, coaching, they have it all above all the other teams in the NFC North. So I do like Detroit at plus 150. Tampa, they're minus 400. That's the correct price. They're going to win the South. And I do think the Rams, who are currently your favorites to win the West, will win the West because they have a head coach quarterback combination that I trust and a defense that is absolutely sick. And my wild cards, Green Bay, a lot of talent. Seattle, defense is awesome. Sam Darnold quietly playing like the best quarterback in the league. And then finally, this might surprise some people, but it's not going to surprise the betting market. They're minus 350 to make the playoffs. That's the San Francisco 49ers as your 7 seed. The offense will get healthy, and the offense will be amazing when they do. Defensively, it's going to be put together with some duct tape but the Niners, I think, have just good enough coaching and offensive infrastructure to make the postseason. So there you have it, your 14 playoff teams this 2025 NFL season. Hey, we got to get this thing down, baby. I think we will get it down, and I think there are some awesome bets to be made heading into next week.